and welcome to our 5th Spiritual Stress Seminar. Today, I'll be addressing identifying the wounded, broken, fragmented relationships that may exist within yourself. Last week we spoke about the wounded spirit as it relates to physical symptoms like the person with chest pain. Your next way. Okay. Yeah. So I'll start over. Today's meeting, we will be discussing identifying your wounded, broken, or fragmented relationships that exist within yourself. A wounded, broken, fragmented relationship within yourself can develop and exist primarily between your identity of who you are, that I call your spiritual identity, and what you are is your physical, psychosocial identity. These two together constitute you as a spiritual human being. Who are you and what you are two aspects of yourself. And so when your spiritual identity that affirms you as an adopted son or daughter of God, who loves you unconditionally for who you are, and blessed with your unique gift and talent, I believe each of us are loved unconditionally. That means whether you're good or whether you do wrong things, God loves you. And He has blessed you with a unique gift and talent. Each of us have a talent and each of us have a gift. But it can become wounded, fragmented, broken, and separated from the Spirit of God when we get wounded or we get hurt by the trauma of rejection, betrayal, and abandonment of love, especially by the ones closest to us, which would be like your parents, your siblings, your brothers, your sisters, your relatives, your spouses. And we know too well, a lot of us have family histories where we have experienced a lot of deep hurts growing up as a child. You hear all sorts of stories that cause you to feel maybe nobody loves you. You feel that your father was not fair to you, or your mother was not fair to you, and so on. And of course, you feel they may have rejected you, or loved another person more than yourself, or they may have just walked away from their family, or you thought they may have promised you things and then betrayed you. At the same time, you could reject yourself too, or you could betray yourself, and you could abandon yourself by the choices you make. So like in the previous talks I spoke of where this young boy decided to steal money from his grandmother and kept it a secret. So things like that haunt you without realizing it. It makes you less than who you are. And of course, experiencing rejection, trauma, or betrayal, or abandonment by those in authority, maybe the people you work for, or maybe officers like in the police, or maybe your boss at work, or whoever it might be. We have all experienced this trauma in life. And so, what enables us to cope in spite of these disappointments and yet still remain who we are, knowing that we are loved and knowing and recognizing our own unique gifts and talents. It's not easy. Loving yourself for who you are as an adopted child of God, with your unique gift and talent, becomes very difficult. As we become disconnected from the love of God, and in return, our love becomes conditional. And by that I mean, if you're a good boy, Mommy and Daddy would love you. That's conditional love. But when Mommy and Daddy loves me for who I am, regardless, that unconditional love is what comes from God, and it comes through those who care for you. That's the challenge for us. And as a result of that, we love because God first loved us. But when you're wounded, rejected, betrayed, abandoned, the need to be loved, the need to be affirmed, the need to belong, the need to succeed grows more and more. And we become more materialistic as our love becomes more conditional and materialistic. Wealth, money can become the God in our lives. Power and control can become the God in our lives. Pleasure and just satisfying yourself becomes your top priority. Or honor. Like, don't you know who I am? We demand respect, and we demand all these things. And if we achieve any of these things, we see it as the hallmarks of our success. And although it's good to have money, and it's good to have a certain amount of power, and it's good to have pleasures, and it's good to be respected and honored, those are not the prime or the most important aspects of your life. The most important aspects of your life is knowing who you are, and knowing as a child of God, and love for who you are, and also becoming what you become. A person who is healthy, becoming a person who has a steady job, a person who can use all his gifts and talents to serve and to become what you were created to do. When you know who you are, it enables you to achieve those things. But when you've lost your identity and cannot distinguish between who you are and what you are, it creates inner conflict with loss of your authentic identity as a spiritual human being. And without realizing it, you develop the lie The lie that tells you that you're okay when you're not. And then you have to maintain this image in order to feel accepted. And the stress from that, I call it spiritual stress. And that's the spiritual stress. And we know how stress, you often heard it said, stress is the killer. Because when stress works in your body, you've heard the expression, the fight or flight syndrome. All your body chemicals, the endocrine organs, and go into a defense mode. So your heart races fast, your thyroid gland becomes overworked, just like your adrenal glands. You're tense, you get headaches, you get upset stomachs, you get all the symptoms that we all experience. And many a time when we develop all these symptoms, we tend to think of a physical cause. But quite often, the root cause is the stress that has developed inside of you. The stress that causes you to feel, I have to be a certain way, or I have to look a certain way in order to be a somebody. But as I said, when you know you are loved for who you are, you don't have to prove yourself, you don't have to be anything other than just what you were created to be, with your unique gifts and talents. As I said, spiritual stress triggers the natural fight or flight stress response that occurs when we perceive danger or harm. It warns the self of impending danger and harm. So the impending danger and harm here would be to be rejected, not to be accepted, not to be loved. And the person automatically prepares to defend, protect itself of this danger. And as this thing is activated, as I said before, in order to maintain the image that we feel we have to be, in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, we devise unknowingly ways and means to seek attention to be loved, seek attention to be recognized, seek attention to be a somebody, seek attention to be successful in life. Unaware that we are loved unconditionally for who we are by our God and those who love us. But yet unable to love and accept myself for who I am. Why? Because I believe you have lost your authentic identity of who you are. And we replace it with an identity of what you are. So in my case, what am I? Well, I'm a retired medical doctor. But who are you? I am not, who am I is not a retired medical doctor. Who am I? I believe in my case, I'm a adopted child of God who loves me unconditionally for who I am, regardless of what I do. And all this God asks me to do is to acknowledge my faults, acknowledge my mistakes, and try to put it right. That's all it is. But when you lose insight of that, and you come to believe that you are loved and respected and accepted because of what you are, you see how you have to fight and you have to protect your image. The stress that comes from that leads not only to your personal health, but it creates family problems, relationship problems, work problems, all sorts of problems. And with that, it distorts my personality. because my personality is what I present to others. And then it becomes so important that people like me for what they see and not for who I am. So from a physical point of view, I want to have the biggest muscular body, for instance. Or I want to look the most handsome I could be. From an intellectual point, my intellectual personality, I want you to see how intelligent I am. I want you to see how knowledgeable I am. The same in my emotions. I want you to see how caring I am, how loving I am. And in my sexual self, I want you to see what a male figure I am. And the same way with my spiritual self, I want you to show you I do good things. And in my relational self, I want you to see how I get along with everybody. And in my ability to cope, I want you to show you how coordinated I am, how good I am in sports, how good I am in whatever I choose to do. In other words, I am trying to prove all the time to people what a nice person I am. The stress that comes from that is enormous. And you put expectations on people to respond to you in a certain way. And when that does not happen, you feel people don't care or they don't love you. Not realizing that you are putting constant pressure on yourself to be something that you are not. Why? Because you are not able to accept yourself for who you are. This in turn affects your interpersonal relationships, first of all with yourself. So I'm always looking in the mirror to see how I look. I don't like the way how I look, so I have to go and get all the different things that's advertised to make me look good. I feel my family don't appreciate me because I put false expectations on them. Same way for my spouse or my partner. Same way for my neighbors. I might become critical. I find they don't keep their house or their property nice as it should be. The same way with my co-workers. I don't think they're good enough. And I do the same thing with God. When my prayers are not answered, I blame God and I accuse God of not caring for me. This is a situation that you allow yourself to fall into. And ultimately, the stress affects my health. Whether it's blood pressure, whether it's my underactive thyroid gland, whether it's my blood sugar levels, whether it's my weight loss, whether I have upset stomachs, whether it's my muscle pain, whether it's my mental health, I suffer with anxiety, I worry so much, I become depressed. Or whether it's psychological, I'm always worrying about everything. Or whether it's social, I don't seem to have too many friends or be able to keep friendships. And spiritually, I feel God does not answer my prayers. All of these have come because out of my need, I put expectations on myself and on others that are not realistic. But I don't realize that. I think I'm doing my best, but I have lost my true identity of who I am. And I concentrate more on what I am. So I have to be good. I have to do this. I have to study hard. I have to get strong. And all of those are good things, but you're doing it for the wrong reason. And this is the pressure we put on ourselves that eventually we succumb to. As we end up with physical symptoms, emotional, mental. And when we go to the doctor with these symptoms, our expectation is that he will treat us. And you expect to receive a pill to relieve the symptoms. And the pill will relieve the symptoms. But if you notice, you have to keep taking that pill all the time now, because it does not cure you. It relieves your symptoms, but it does not cure you. And then you have to worry about the side effects of the medication. Now, I'm not saying you don't take medication, but what I'm trying to say is the medication relieves your symptoms, but it does not cure the underlying root cause of your problem. And I believe the underlying root cause of a problem many times is the stress, I call it spiritual stress, that dwells within us. And struggling to become something that we are not, or something to be accepted in society. And then all of this now in turn affects my lifestyle, because I cannot work or have difficulty working. So financially, I become dependent on social services. And as you know, they could only do so much, and it's never enough. Socially, I become more lonely and isolated. Because I don't seem to have too many friends. And I become a victim of my own anger, of my own fears, of my own guilt, of my shame. Because I feel embarrassed to meet people or even talk to people. And then I will come to feel that life is not fair. I feel cheated, deprived. I see some of my colleagues and friends doing well, and I am not. And as far as I know, I'm doing my best. So it's not fair. Life is not fair. God does not answer my prayers, as you would say. But all of this, it blinds me. I could only see what others have done to me. So my whole personality changes. I become a bitter, angry person. And I want to suggest this is partly because we have lost our authentic identity. So, do you know who you are? Can you say to yourself, you know who you are? Relationships break down. Your faith and worship breaks down. You're now suffering with a chronic illness. There's a lot of remorse, anger, guilt, fear, shame within us. And the question is, who will rescue me from all of this, as we say, that's leading me to my death? And it's not to say you have not tried, because you have tried. But I believe most of us have tried to correct the symptoms that we have. But not recognize that deeper than the symptoms is the underlying root cause is because I do not know who I am. I think I know who I am, but the truth is I do not know who I am. And who you are is different to what you are. And so I feel that helping to rediscover who you are becomes very, very important. And at a later date, I would like to help you to come to discover who you are in a deeper sense. So I say, who will rescue me from this body leading me to my death? So for me, as who was a medical doctor but not in practice anymore, and I've been a doctor now for how many years? 60, 40, for 57, 58 years. I've been a medical doctor for 58 years. And initially I was trained as a surgeon. I just used to operate. I've done all sorts of surgery. And then later on, because of circumstances, I ended up doing more family medicine. And in family medicine, it really opened my eyes, because I came to realize that a lot of the symptoms that patients came with, whether it was physical, emotional, mental, or social, relational, I came to realize that many times the symptoms are really about something not right in themselves, whether it's a headache, whether you cannot sleep, whether it's an upset stomach, and all of these things. And we tend as doctors, because science is I call it now, has become the god of medicine, we always tend to look for a scientific cause. By science I mean, we always try to look to see where there's something within your physical, emotional system that's not working. So we may discover your hormones are low, or we may discover your iron is low, or we may discover your heart is not beating correctly. And when we discover that, we assume that's the cause of your symptoms. And we give you pills to correct that. But we never go much deeper and ask what causes this in the first place. And even if you ask, we might say, well, it's probably stress. And stress is something that we all acknowledge and accept in life. Everybody has stress. And so what can you do? And we offer support systems, whether it's social systems or counseling systems, and all of these things. But the bottom line is that once your symptoms subside, from a health point of view, we believe we have cured you. Just continue to take your pills. And if you look at in society today, we have epidemic proportions of depression, chronic illnesses, high blood pressure, diabetes. In other words, by treating all these conditions and relieving the symptoms, yes, you live longer, but we have created now a whole epidemic of sick people with all that have to take pills and all of these things. And I'm not saying that you don't take pills, because you need pills. But what I'm trying to suggest to you, that deeper than those pills is the underlying stress that exists in us. And I'm trying to suggest to you, don't just accept stress as a way of life. There's a reason for the stress. And what I came to discover, and that was in myself too, not only in the patients, in myself, that the deeper stress, I call it spiritual stress. Because when you lose your sense of who you are and your identity, and you live by what you are, you create a stress of trying to maintain that image of what you are. So whether it's, as we say, keeping up with the Joneses, or whether it's keeping up with the lifestyles, or keeping up with the things you eat, or whatever it is, that we feel we have to do that to keep up with life. But when you truly know who you are free to become what you were created to be. And when I say free, I mean free that you have choices, free that you are not feel overwhelmed by all these advertisements or pressures or society. You become your own true self. And then you make your choices of what you want to do, as opposed to feel I have to do these things to keep up with society and things like that. And becoming free, I feel, is the deeper side of living your life in the truth. Because when you do not know who you are, and you mix up who you are with what you are, I believe you live what I call the lie. The lie is the false self. And sometimes we say your ego is too big, or you use expressions like that. But the lie is believing that you're something that you're not. But when you know I am loved for who I am and not what I am free. Because who I am is who I am. I don't have to wear this type of clothes, or I don't have to live in this neighborhood, or I don't have to eat this type of food to be that person. I am free to be who I am. And I think as we get older in life, we come to that realization. And I realized I had to do that with myself too. And I found that when I found a deeper relationship, in my case, with my God, who I came to realize loved me completely for who I am. Before, I believe I loved, but I came to realize that my love was conditional. I love you, but don't get too close, because it may challenge me to do something I do not want to do. So I love you, but stay this distance. And I discovered, I tell God I love him, but then I discovered I don't want God to get too close to me, because he may ask me to do something and go somewhere that I don't think it's going to be wise for me to do that. So trusting God becomes an issue. So surrendering and letting go is what allows you to grow in that sense. And I find that when you are free, you accept life as it comes. I don't have to be like that person, or I don't have to live in this particular area. I am free to be me. And so I learn to accept life as it comes and make the best of it. So today I'm planning to come here, and the forecast said it was going to be nice and sunny. But if it was raining, right, so be it. I make the best of it, as opposed to blaming the weatherman, or blaming God, or blaming somebody else. You're free to be who you are. And that freedom is what I believe all of us strive for. But we are so bottled up and so pressured by all the different pressures of life that we feel trapped. So healing of my spiritual stress, I believe, often is related to events from the past. Events that occur in your life that you probably even forgot, and you don't think it really have much significance in your life. But I came to realize that it's due to changes in the past. I came to discover that Jesus can heal the wounds of the past. He cannot change the past, but he can heal the wounds by us asking forgiveness and telling him we are sorry and trying to change our lives. At the same time though, Jesus could forgive us when we could go to him and acknowledge what we did not do right or what was not right in our lives and to set us free. Because you have a conscience, and this conscience knows everything. But if you do not acknowledge what you did in the past, then I don't even think God could help you to, in that sense. So just like those experiences I shared to you previously, of the guy with the chest pain, happily married with his wife and 2 children. And he's in emergency all the time because they suspect a heart attack. But his test keeps coming back normal all the time. So for 4 months this is going on, and nobody can tell him what's wrong. But because he's so paranoid and fearful that he might die and leave his wife and children and family behind, he gets very depressed. You see, because all this stress works in the system. And then through assessing him, we discovered this little secret he had when he was a 12-year-old boy. When he tried to steal money from his grandmother, he trusted them and gave him an envelope with money, as you say, to mail to the old country. Fortunately, there was no money in that envelope, but he kept it a secret to himself for 30 years. Same way with another man I met. And not only men, women too, but in this case with another man. And he too had chest pains. And we discovered he had 3 blockages in his heart blood vessel. So he needed bypass for 3 vessels, and he was relieved and happy. But 3 weeks later, after all the surgery was successful, the chest pains came back. And all the tests done were normal. The cardiologist said there's nothing more we can do. And he's suffering with panic attacks and extreme anxiety. And then when I assessed him, what I discovered, he's 60 years old. But what I discovered, when he was 30 years old, he did something very, very bad. And he kept it a secret. And although he said he went to the priest, and he confessed what he did. So we would say, well, okay, you confessed it, so you should be okay. But it was still bothering him. Why? Because although he admitted what he did was wrong, he never forgave himself, and he never confessed it to the people, the person who he affected. You follow? So you could say he did part of the... He put himself halfway, if you want to call it that way. He wasn't able to do everything. So these things have taught me that we carry secrets in us. Sometimes we even forgotten about it. But I find helping to uncover those traumas in your life, and I said, like the little chart I show you, where it could be things related to your physical self, things related to your intellectual self, things related to your emotional self, things related to your sexual self, things related to your spiritual self, to your relationships, and in your coping ability. These little things in us that sometimes that happen and you feel nobody else knows, and it's okay. But somehow they come back to haunt you because you have to live with your conscience. It's your conscience that bothers you. And you keep putting it aside by busying yourself doing other things. But in your quiet moments, it will surface. So I'm just trying to help you to become aware of that in a more holistic way, and to suggest to you helping people to get well is not just science, you follow, and it's not just psychiatry or emotional event, relationship. There's I call it a spiritual brokenness in us, because in that spiritual sense, the spiritual part of you and the physical psychosocial part of you that's supposed to be one together is broken. And I believe the only thing that heals that is the love of God through His mercy. But we, as people who have a free will and make choices, we have to make a decision what we want to do, for it. So, for instance, I believe to just praying about it helps to a degree. But praying about it, to me, I come to realize is not enough. We have to take that responsibility and decide what we want to do with our lives. You follow? So anyhow, I'm going to stop here, but I